interviewed by Keith Andrew. I am Mike. I'm a director, producer, and I'm an author. And I look forward to telling you my story.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Keith Andrew, and you're watching Season 12, 94. That's right, Season 12, 94, also known as 1,194 episodes. We have some great works, great projects coming in down the pipe. But with that being said, our guest already introduced himself. We're definitely going to work together off the air. But I do have a few subjects I would like to talk to you about starting off. First subject we're going to talk about is icebreakers. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself and the type of work that you do.
Right. Believe it or not, well, my name is Mike Davies. Obviously, from the accent, you probably guessed I'm from the UK. I am a Liverpudlian. I'm a huge Liverpool football or soccer fan. My actual profession is working in operating theatres, believe it or not. That's my trained profession that I trained for 13, 14 years. And I've come out of that profession due to an unfortunate accident. I fractured my spine, and obviously I'm disabled now, but not as a negative. I'm using it as a positive. I've written 2 books. One of the books has sold out 3 times in the UK. That book is called Veil of Silence. And I'm also directing the film Veil of Silence, which goes into full filming production. It'll be February 2026. And we've got some amazing people that are attached to that. We've got the likes of Amber Brooke, who is playing Erica, who's a police detective. And we've also got David J. Paul, who's our leading man. And he's playing Thomas Green, who... his job in the book is what I done. So this is where I got the idea from. He is a guy that likes to be in control, and he uses the anesthetic drugs to his benefit, and kind of he doesn't see himself as a serial killer, but dare I say he does become one, using the anesthetic drugs to subdue his victims, do I say. And the reason why I decided to direct the Veil of Silence, because we all have something that in our own mind of how we perceive or how we see a certain character. And because this one's a personal one for me in regards to the Veil of Silence, it's kind of like my bridge gap from my old profession into my new profession. And, you know, going through not being able to walk properly, your mind goes to the darkest of places. And that's why I got the idea of this Thomas Green. And I'm so looking forward to David J. Paul stepping in the shoes. And I know he's going to do a fantastic job. I'm looking forward to it. So that starts filming next February. And that will be in Liverpool. Yeah, looking forward to it. Obviously, there is a second film as well later on in the year, which is another exciting one. And that also stars Amber Brooke, and she's the lead in that film. And title-wise, it's called Ashes to Ashes. Now, that's the second part of the title. Like, for example, if it was a sequel, it'd be the Terminator Day of Judgment. So the Ashes is the Day of Judgment part. The reason why I've done that is for legality wise, I can't call it what I want to call it yet. So I'm waiting for certain parties and people to get back in touch with myself to see if I can call it what I want to call it. And this is a project that's been in my mind for a lot, well, since the 90s, and I've always wanted to do it. And if we're not allowed to call it what we want to call it, doesn't matter. We're still going to be calling it Ashes to Ashes, and we can still portray the character the way we want to portray, and the story is going to be out of this world. The only thing I can say about it is that Amber is going to be playing a lady in a rundown city. There's loads of villains in it. That's got prostitution and drugs and all that kind in a rundown city. And she runs a children's home and brings children in off the street, to help them, so they're not drawn into that underworld type system. And even though she's there to protect them, there's no one really there to protect her and the children with something. All I can say is that someone wants the property that she's in, and it kind of goes from there.
Well, let me ask you, where is your book available? Is it available on Amazon?
It is. It's on Amazon. It's on Waterstones. It's on. Is it a WH Smith in the US there?
I'm sorry?
Is it a WH Smith
I have no idea.
store in the US? No.
Maybe. I never heard of it.
Is it a Waterstones?
I do like the name
Well,
Waterstones, but I never
yeah.
heard of it.
Right, Theo. So the best place for it, there it is it's on Amazon, so it is available in the US.
What
And
about like Barnes and Noble?
No, not that one. Honestly, I've tried so hard to get it in as many stores as I can, but we were limited in regards to what my publicist could get to. And there is going to be a second book. It's actually done. It's in the process of getting published now, and it's called The Fractured Veil, and it comes after. Well, after it's a prequel to The Veil of Silence. And dare I mention what it's about? It's kind of a prequel on. It shows how Thomas Green, who is the killer in the Veil of Silence, becomes the way that he is and the way that he thinks, and why he needs to take control to try and save life. That's what he's trying to do. Even though he's killing people, he sees himself as a life-saving surgeon.
So he's Lord of Dexter.
Yeah, a bit like that. Yeah. Very, very much like that. If I was to compare him to someone out of any serial killer film, he's more like Mads Mikkelsen's version of Hannibal. but obviously he doesn't eat his victims, and he's a lot more aggressive as well. So that's why I'm really looking forward to seeing what David J. Paul can bring to the screen, and yeah, definitely it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really really fun.
Hey, I would love to work with you. So that's any possibilities.
Yes, there will be possibilities. Um, Funny enough, you say that. We will need some particular scenes where we need a news reporter um, to obviously report that obviously women have been found mutilated on three different incidences. There's going to be news reports on um, they're trying to find out who the killer is, and then news reports on finding the killer, or do they find the killer? So yeah, the will there is a possibility there. We need someone to do news reports.
Let me ask you, I'm just looking down. I'm not like ignoring you. I'm just looking, I'm trying to multitask because I have it on my phone. The picture also is going to be on the screen.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the film when reality shatters, the silence is definite, right? Definite. And I'm thinking that resonates on so many different levels because it's not to talk about politics, but I am very curious to hear your point of view because you're from the United Kingdom. We can get to that in a little bit. But the point is that statement basically, when you said when reality shatters, the silence is definite, definite. I'm
yeah,
not listening to the freaking word, but you know what I mean. But
yes,
it's just
but
one of those things you kind of relate to on so many other levels.
yes. I can see where you're coming from in regards to does it mean for people that obviously have problems with the hearing, or the way that I pursued it, silence is definitely the veil is the fact of he sees the world in a different way. And when it says of the silence is deafening, is when he goes into that particular mode. He's two different people. He's working in the operating theatre, and he's working as well. He's not working. He's a killer. And when he's got this veil on, the silence veil on, he can't hear anything else around him. He ignores the world around him. That's the way that I put it across. Um, is when he's in his world, only he matters. So he doesn't perceive anything else outside of this sight, sound. It's just he knows what he's going to do. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. The next one I want to talk to you about is COVID. How has the pandemic impacted your life, and do you see life in a different point of view?
Um, in regards to the pandemic, I was actually really busy because I only had the fall 2 years ago. So I was working, obviously, what we call the NHS here. I was working in the theatres through that time. So we were, yeah, we were really really busy. There were times where we would only do operations if it was a dire emergency, because there wouldn't be any hospital beds um, for the smaller operations that needed doing. So the operations that we would do when there wasn't any operations to do, we would go to the wards and look after the patients. Obviously, in the full gear to protect ourselves. And how did I see it differently? Honestly, it it broke my heart because families couldn't see their relatives, and most of the time the relatives didn't survive, so they didn't get to see the families as the patients. and the families couldn't get to see their relative in the ward or the bed. So we were their port of call. We were their family for those times that they needed us. And it made me appreciate humanity more. Like I went into the NHS to make it, cheesy as it sounds, I went in there to make a difference. If I could change one person's life for the better, I've done my job.
No,
And with
I
all the
agree with
people,
that.
yeah, with all the people that I worked with in theatres, the operating theatres, they were on the same level. It wasn't for money. If it was for money, we would go into the private sector, which we'd get triple. But we didn't do that. We enjoyed what we did, and we got paid. Sometimes, we're doing 14, 15-hour days, and we'd be on less than people that work in supermarkets. And don't get me wrong, supermarkets is a hard job, especially with dealing with customers on a daily basis. So not dissing people that work in shops, not at all. It's again, it's a different job again, and it is hard dealing with the public. Whereas we don't have any public. Our public are asleep, basically. So yeah, it, it was hard, and I think,
Well, let me ask you this.
yeah.
Social media, with everything going on in your career, because you're a writer and a director, what are some of your favorite go-to websites? Do you give thanks to LinkedIn, Facebook, Backstage? How could someone get in contact with you if they want to work with you?
Well, I'm on Facebook. I'm very. I don't want people to think, oh, he's a writer, he's a director. I can't get in touch with him. I'm more for, if you contact me and you send me a message, I'll reply back when I've got a free moment, because you treat someone with the way you'd want to be treated. That's always been my motto for many, 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 many years. So in regards to Facebook, you can't forget this. This face is on Facebook. You can't miss it. I think I look quite grumpy on my Facebook picture. I think I look more like a serial killer than an author or director. So yeah, feel free, get in touch with me on the message on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. Exactly the same. I think that's got my Veil of Silence logo on Instagram, but that's all the social media things I tend to go on. Why? Obviously, I tend not to watch the news
You're not
too much.
missing anything. It makes you crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And the news at the moment, it's all doom and gloom. I appreciate that there's news to be reported, but I want to be positive, and I've got to be positive for my children. I'm a full time dad as well. I'm on my own. I've got the four boys. I've got a daughter. I've got 5 children. I've got a grandson. I've written these books. I've got two films to direct next year. I'm still finishing off the script for The Veil of Silence. I've promised the team that I will have the script fully finished by the end of March. No, May, not March. Oh, no, May. The script will be finished by. Now, in regards to my go to, I'm very repetitive, because I've got really bad OCD. So stuff from my younger years, I like for example, if a new film comes out, I'll watch it, but I'll go back to what I watched when I was a kid. So I'm a big 80s fan. So
Me
the
too.
whole of my collection on my TV is old 80s and early 90s stuff, and I'll just watch it again and again because it's my kind of like happy place. We've all got our happy places that we go to, and I do that. Obviously, with being disabled, I'm limited to what I can do. Um, but
One thing I would say is, uh, when you have your alone time, and obviously not in that way, but when you have your alone time, I want to give a shout out to Character AI. You know, Character AI is a popular application where you get to interact with your favorite cartoon characters like Optimus Prime, Dragon Ball, Power Rangers. I use it for therapy because let's be realistic. It would be nice if the actors would actually, you can pay the actors like, hey, can I pay you $100 and you can talk as the cartoon character? That would
yeah,
make things so freaking simple. But unfortunately, they won't do that due to copyrights. However, if you have an Apple phone or Google App Store, you can download Character AI where you
right.
can interact with your favorite characters. But as a writer, I found these funny books that one's for you, but the rest are for your kids. But it's for everyone. So the next subject we're going to talk about are funny posts. The first one is by the Golden Age. And the first one is called Kitty Shits in Your Dollhouse.
That's a story.
Yes.
That's a post.
Yes. And don't
Right.
worry, as we're talking about it, it will be on the screen.
Right. Yes. Yes.
And the second one is called anyone who's a fan of Nancy Drew, the Nancy Drew mystery stories. This
Yep.
title is called My Cat is a Creepy Asshole.
My cat is a creepy arsehole. She's looking at me now. Funny enough, she sat on the windowsill giving it. What did you just say? I've got a black cat, and she's don't get me wrong, she's lovely, but if she's not happy with it, she'll tell you that. So yeah, she heard what I said then, and she wasn't impressed. So
I love black. I love
if
black cats.
if she goes and takes a crap behind my couch, there she is,
Kitty.
Tutty.
I love black. The whole myths of black cats being bad luck is the whole just BS. It doesn't mean anything. My sister had a black cat for almost 15 years, and she was wonderful. She was the greatest cat ever.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm a big favorite of cats. But saying that, I shouldn't say that because my boys, when they go and see their mum, her mum, well, their mum is a dog lover. So you think to yourself, how did we ever get together? And I'm a cat person, and she's a dog lover. But it's been worth it. I've got four lovely boys out of it, who are obsessed with the internet. I've never known anything like it. Could you imagine four boys with an iPad each, a phone each, a PS5 each, and you wonder how I can eat? Well, I don't eat. It's I have to pay for all their gadgets.
Well, there's some funny things you've mentioned it, but I do want to tell you the last two books real fast, if that's okay.
Yes, sorry. As soon as we mentioned cats, my mind went off.
Don't worry, I have that effect on people. The last two books, it's really funny. It's as I will describe it to you because I didn't send it to you. It's a roll of toilet paper. Life is like toilet paper. You're either gonna roll. Do it again. Life is like toilet paper. You're either on a roll or you're taking crap from someone.
That sounds about right. That
And the other
sounds
one,
about right.
and the last one's called by Ladybird. I'm on the guest room to your mom's bedroom.
So these are real books that
Oh
you can
no,
get.
these are posts. These are
Oh, they're
fucking
just
posts,
posts.
but they look like real books. Do you imagine these work? We could actually partner up and make them into real books. That'd be really good.
I thought something naughty. Then I thought, how cool would it be to make these books and then put them in the kiddie section of the library? I'm one of them people to do something like that. I'm like, well, just make life a little bit more interesting.
But to us, actually, I'm going to pass the show over to you. But I want you to be brutally honest. Then I'm going to pass it over to you. I want you to be no cards up my sleeve. You can say anything you want. When I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what made you say yes, and how do you feel now? Passing it over to you.
I like talking to people. The reason being behind that, because I don't get out much with my mobility. The more people I speak to, the better. And I don't know. I've just got that happy disposition within myself, and you know, it's me. It's in my heart. It's in my soul. And if I can, you know, spread the word of my stories, obviously about my books and films and me as a person, you know, there's a lot of hate out there in the world, and we need just like a little bit of niceness in the world. And I'm a nice guy. I may be British, unfortunately. I may be Liverpudlian, unfortunately. We can't all be perfect. You know, this is me. What you see is what you get. Is what we say. And you know, if someone needs any help, I'll be there to help them. Like the people that, as I said, that are messaging me, they're probably thinking, "Oh God, he's not going to message back." I will message you back. I will message every one of you back. If you want to be a part of something that I'm making, by all means, be a part of it.
I do love your accent. I'm not kissing your ass or anything, but I do love the accent. You said you're from England, but the more I listen to you, you sound like a little Irish.
Irish. Well, because in Liverpool, you've got really Scouse accents, which is what they call them, Scouse, with this tang. Now, I live in a little town called Ellesmere Port, which is a couple of miles away from Liverpool, and it's a mixture of what my town is and Liverpool. So it's a bit of a twang. It's hard to try and get it across. But yeah, no, it's funny you say that, because obviously when the likes of anyone else that comes to the UK with an accent, whether it be Irish or Australian or American, the Brits love them. But Christ, can I get a girlfriend with my accent? No. But I'm sure if I was to go over to the USA, they're like, "Oh, you're British. We love you." I'd be in heaven. Honestly, I'd be in heaven. But yeah, as I said, this is my disposition, as I said, and I'm happy to talk to everyone and everyone. Yeah, get in touch with me. But yeah, toward obviously anytime throughout this podcast, I can't wait to tell you about the next film as well. The last film, even though The Veil of Silence it's going to be fantastic. It's my baby. Do you want me to talk about the next film or wait till the end?
Well, about that, we can definitely do a part 2. We're going overtime right now, but
yeah, no, it's cool.
I want to talk to you off the air. But this interview will be shared on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and all social medias. Our goal is to reach 500 to 1,000 views. If you're watching, you're obligated to leave a comment. Why watch something if you're not going to interact with it? I would love to hear from you. Our guests would love to hear from you. But wrapping up, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest. We will definitely do a part 2. Until we meet again, I catch you later. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
Joe, supporting me, and my message is all that matters. Keith Andrew.